Welcome to Thursday's solo episode. I'm still not in my I'm still not in my studio using my expensive equipment because that's just who I am as a person. I haven't recovered from Vegas. I feel tired. I don't know what it is. I don't want to sit in a basement. Ugh. And this was a thing when we bought this house. I was like, there's no designated office space. Like, I enjoy sitting in my room in front of this big window. It's lovely. In the basement, like, no thank you. It's like you have to drag me down there. Obviously for important interviews and stuff, I'll go down there, make sure everything's set up properly, but I need to set it up. That's the thing. My studio is not set up properly. It's like there's junk all over the floor on one side. There's nothing on the walls. It's just not a cozy space. So I really need to put effort and energy into fixing that up so that I use it. Good Lord. Anyways, I put up a Q&A sticker on my stories. I'm sorry if you keep hearing Megan Fox talking. Every time I open Instagram, it goes to her reel. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh my God. Okay, sorry guys. I am trying to find the slide where you guys submitted questions. There it is. Okay. So I wanted to answer some of these questions on here. I just opened it and someone's question is thoughts on Harry Styles shaving his head. Honestly, I have no thoughts. My mare has thoughts. If you go to her Leader of the Harrys account, I think she posted about something this morning. And yeah, I don't know why everybody is like in an uproar. He's literally like one of those people that can put his hair in any haircut, and he will look fine. Like, he could have a mullet. He could have, remember New Kids on the Block? Jordan had the big long rat tail. I am convinced Harry could have a rat tail and it would be fine. Like, he would look fine. So yeah, I don't really have thoughts about that. It's just like, do you, boo? Maybe his head was feeling itchy and he was like, you know what? I got to get all this hair off. And he just shaved his head. Like, you know, I get it. Sometimes I feel like I want to do that, but I haven't. So, somebody said, I love your stories today. Social media. Well, thank you. Okay. This is a question that I wanted to address. Somebody says, separate bedrooms. Be honest. How much does it negatively affect your sex life? Okay, let's get into it. Because honestly, we do not have nearly enough intimate moments at all. Like, we do well for a little while and then it just like completely falls off. And that, you know what it is? It's like when I was talking to is it not Decoding Couples? Xander and Vanessa, they wrote a book about, oh my God, what's it called? It's called Sex Talks, and it's like 5 conversations to have with your partner about sex. And like, they're all about like couples having the best possible sex life that they could have. I have not read the book yet. I really should, and we should have those conversations. It's also like hard to talk about sex, even with your partner, if that makes sense, which is so wild because like I talk about pooping, I talk about like all the things. And sometimes I get annoyed and I'm like, because like we're so busy and exhausted. As soon as Milo goes down to go to bed, it's like 8:30 and all I want to do is read my Kindle or watch a reality TV show and go to bed. There's no bone in my body that's like, oh, I feel like having sex or being intimate or putting effort into anything. Literally, even just like reading my Kindle, that's the maximum amount of effort I want to put into something after Milo goes to bed. And I know it's bad. And it's like, you get all these outside messages from people that are saying, you know, couples having sex is like so important, and if you're not having sex all the time, like your husband's getting it from somewhere else. And like, to be honest, I don't agree with that because like he's fucking tired too. Okay, like he's tired too, so he's not going out of his way to go have relations with someone else because he's fucking tired. So yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. But at the same time, sometimes I get sad. I'm like, oh, like we don't have enough sex. But then I'm like, but do I really? It's like, do I just feel that way because of the outside messages that I get from people that are telling me that it's so important and you should be doing it all the time and you should want to be doing it all the time? Because I'm like, even if I was with somebody else who was like so sexually like motivated or like, you know, like that's what they wanted to do all the time, I still don't think I would want to, you know? Like it's such a tricky situation. And I can see where people don't talk about it because, again, it's the same reason why people don't talk about sleeping in separate bedrooms. Like when I post about that, people are like, oh my God, us too. Like we never tell anybody, like nobody knows this, but we sleep separately too. And people don't talk about those things because they're worried about how other people perceive their relationship, which is nuts. Like I'm pretty confident in our relationship. Like we are super happy. I would consider him my absolute best friend. We are such a good team when it comes to like running a household, being parents. Like I have not a lot of complaints. I just wish that we put more effort into our relationship instead of like the logistics. Like we love hanging out and like, I don't know. And then I saw that Jay Shetty reel that was like, if the only thing you're doing with your partner is watching TV in the evenings. I don't know how he finished that statement, but he's basically saying like, that's not good. And I know that because I remember listening to one of his episodes about, I think it was like 7 things that all couples should do. And one of the things was like have new experiences together, you know, like you're going to events or you're going, you know, to the driving range, you're going to a spa, like you're taking walks, you know. I always have these big ideas. I'm like, oh, Pri and I, first of all, we need to get a babysitter that we can call to be able to go do things on our own. We don't have that yet, but I don't know why. Like, why do some things just get put on the back burner and other things are priorities and you do them? It's like if it was something to do with Milo, it would be done. Not even a question about it. It would be done. It's a priority. When it comes to our relationship, we're like, yeah, we should do that. And then we just like never happens. Like I have somebody in Guelph that's like, yes, I will be your babysitter. Let's set up a time where I can come hang out with Milo and we can like he can get to know me. Like I know this person. And they were supposed to come and then I got sick. So then we canceled that. And now it's like, okay, get back on that. Like have her come over so that Milo's like super comfortable with her. And then you guys can plan to do stuff. So it's something that I think about all the time, but we haven't. And again, it's like, I feel like my husband would never do it on his own to be like, oh, like I arranged this and we can, you know, go have a date and do this. And it's like, it's going to be me, you know? And I remember I made that, it wasn't a default parent reel, but it was like things that one person in the partnership does all the time. Or maybe it was about parenting. Anyways, it was like reading books and like consuming content on trying to better your relationship, like your romantic relationship. And that's me. Like, but that's just who I am as a person. I do all that kind of stuff, but my husband doesn't. So in my mind, I'm like, he's content. Just Milo goes to bed. He watches basketball. I read my Kindle or we watch Below Deck. You know, like he's content with that. I'm also content with that. But at the same time, I'm like, no, like we should be trying to prioritize our relationship. And then sometimes I'm like, maybe as Milo gets older, it will get better and easier to put our relationship as a priority. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyways, this is my long-winded answer for this one question, but I thought it was just so... Because yes, I'm sure sleeping in separate beds, maybe if we were sleeping in the same bed, it would lead to more intimacy just because you're in the bed with the person. I know before we had Milo, that was our routine, is like we would watch a show in bed together. Usually I would go to sleep before him, but then sometimes like you're waking up together. I don't know. It's just, there's more like closeness. I completely agree with that. But at the same time, like sleep is one of my top priorities. And my husband goes to bed much later than I do. He wakes up earlier than I do. He snores. Like there's so many things. He's on call sometimes. So then he's getting calls in the middle of the night. So we just decided, once sleep became so important for me after having Milo, because then sleep is not in your control anymore. Like, yeah, sure. When I was a PhD student, I made my own schedule. I didn't really have to be anywhere when I woke up for the most part. So I didn't care about being tired. Like I could take a nap in the afternoon. You know, now I'm so busy with work stuff. Sleep is not really in our control anymore. Like we will be waking up at 6 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday morning. I care about sleep. And so I prefer to sleep by myself. I'm a very high maintenance sleeper. If I wake up in the middle of the night, like let's say his phone goes off or he wakes me up snoring or something, like then I'm up and I'm fucked. You know, it's not like I can just like drift in and out of sleep. If I'm up, I'm up. So that has led us to sleeping separately. I think we both enjoy sleeping separately, me probably more so than him, because he's the one that keeps me awake, and he could sleep literally on a tarmac with airplanes landing and taking off. Like it wouldn't bother him. He could just sleep. So we sleep separately. But I remember telling him once when we were on this, like having this discussion about like intimacy and like having sex. I think I had someone on the podcast and we were talking about that topic. And I was like, you know what we should do? We should do an experiment where we have sex every single day for like 30 days straight. And obviously, now that I think about it, it's like, Renee, with your cycle and your heavy period, like there's not a chance. But I remember saying that to him and he was like, okay, calm down. Like, calm down. But I'm going to bring that up to him again. Like, we should do that experiment for maybe not 30 days, but however many days, you know, between the menstrual phase, let's say, and just like see what happens. You know, it's always the thing. And yes, I talked about this with Matthew McConaughey, if you recall our conversation. Yes, I had a conversation with Matthew McConaughey about intimacy and making love to your partner. Like I still can't process that information, but I was telling him, like, it's one of those things where you do it and then you're like, why the fuck don't we do that more often? That's always the case. But then you just get back in your routine, and it literally is like a routine and a habit, I guess, that you need to break, or like you're trying to form a new habit. And I think like us during the day, like they always say, you know, to be more intimate with your partner, like it's important how you guys treat each other and, you know, little things that you do throughout the day and vice versa. Like if you're regularly being intimate or having sex, like Matthew McConaughey was saying in his book, like those small moments throughout the daytimes are like enhanced, if you will. And then maybe, you know, you hold hands more, you sit closer on the couch, you know what I mean? Like talk more about things that are not just freaking logistics of children and the household and getting your freaking winter tires put on. So when I saw that question, it just put this whole topic back into my mind. And I was like, yes, having separate sleeping quarters probably does affect intimacy in some sense. But it's like, what's the risk versus the reward? So if we get much better sleep, which makes us much happier, well-rested people during the day, it's probably worth it. And then at the same time, we need to work on being intimate, like more so than maybe a couple that sleeps in the same bed, because it would just naturally happen easier. So yeah, like, let's make a plan. Like, should we start a club where we're like, oh my God, there's a psycho squirrel just staring at me in this tree. Squirrels are so freaking weird. Now I lost my train of thought because of this squirrel. And this is what it's like to be a podcaster with ADHD in front of a big window. Like, it's a wonder that I get even any thought out of my brain and out of my mouth with so much going on in front of me. But this guy just took my attention for sure. Oh yeah, I was going to say, do you guys want to start a club where we are more intimate and like loving with our partners? I feel like I would want to do that. Like, sometimes I think in my mind, like, yes, like, we should work on this. We need to be better at this. And it's like one more freaking thing that like we need to be better at because people are saying that it's important, and maybe it is important, but like right now I'm pretty happy and content with how things are going. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe we should be intimate, like way more, you know? So it's like a very confusing thing. But like, I can hardly, like, I'm struggling right now to take all the supplements that I want to be taking regularly for my digestion and my hormones. And it's like, this is just like one more thing that I'm like, Renee, you need to be better at this. You need to put effort into this. But I'm going to talk to my husband. I'm going to be like, what should we do? Like, let's do something. I know Alex, this family tree, they always do date nights where it's like, you put your phone down, you guys play a game, like you're not really watching TV. They like open a bottle of wine, order food in, and they even like get dressed up, you know, like not dressed up, but like to look super nice. And I'm like, these things always sound amazing, but then when it comes to, 8:30 p.m., Milo just goes down. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do anything. So like, I need this. What do I do? Like, drink an espresso martini? Maybe that'll just give me the little boost that I need for romance. Frick. Anyways, thank you so much to the person that submitted that question, because yes, I agree. It probably does negatively affect your intimacy. Do I think it can be like made up for with just like a little bit of effort? 100% yes. And we need to do that. And I will keep you guys posted. I know like a long time ago, I was like, okay, we need to start making like dates, because I listened to that Jay Shetty episode, and I was like, okay, we need to start like experiencing new things together. And I think I got a babysitter. It was one of the daycare teachers from Milo's school that he loved. So she came over to our house and we had like an afternoon together. We went to the driving range, which was really fun, like experiencing something new together. And then we went for lunch and like had a beer. And then we went home, and I was like, oh, that's lovely. And we did it once. Never to be done again. So yeah. You know how they say like to start a habit or like to get really into something, you have to do it regularly for what, like 30 days or 90 days or something? Like, it's going to take time, but like we freaking have to, like, just freaking do it, you know? So this is where I'm at. Milo is 5 years old. And I feel like for the longest time, I was like, yeah, like we have a young child. It's, it is what it is. But like, I don't really think we have that excuse anymore. and we need to like get our shit together. So sometimes I'm like, should we do couples counseling? Not that there's like any major problems, or not even couples counseling. We could do like not a sex therapist, but like someone who will just like spark conversation and like give us ideas, and like I could probably find all that information online. I probably don't have to pay somebody, but maybe I'll start with Xander and Vanessa's book, and I'll keep you guys posted on that. I feel like this whole journey of being more intimate and loving and just like having sex with our husbands or partners could be like a whole podcast series in and of itself, you know? Anyways, so thanks for that question. You just like exploded my mind, and I wanted to come get that out before I go pick up Milo at school now. So good times. It was nice chatting with you guys. But I have to go get Milo. I don't want to be late because it's Friday. So love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope your children sleep tonight and you get it on with your partner. Just kidding. I'm not kidding. That's serious. Okay, bye.